You've got your route planned, 15 your name locations in Tokyo, 10 Harry Potter spots in Edinburgh, 8 Marvel filming sites across LA. You know where you're going and what order to hit them. But here's where most location runners fail. They show up with the wrong loadout. A 25-liter tourist backpack that kills your movement speed in crowds. Shoes that debuff your stamina by hour 6. A phone that dies before you hit location number 5. And zero plan for when you buy that limited edition poster at the anime shop you just discovered. Basically, you min-maxed the itinerary but neglected your character build entirely. This is your complete gear build for 8-hour location speedruns. The exact equipment that handles 20,000 steps across concrete, cobblestone, and stairs without destroying your feet. A 3.5-liter carry system that beats a full backpack. A $65 power bank that's basically infinite mana regen. And expandable inventory for unexpected loot drops. Budget build, $257. Value build, $312. Optimized build, $485. Every equipment slot has a purpose. Let's build your loadout. Here's what happens when you gear up like a normal tourist for a location run. You pack a standard day pack with just-in-case items, wear whatever shoes looked good that morning, carry a rigid water bottle, and figure you'll charge your phone somewhere along the way. By location 3, your shoulders hurt from the backpack swinging every time you turn to check Google Maps. By hour 6, your feet are screaming because those sneakers weren't built for 10 miles of city pavement. By hour 8, you're rationing your phone battery and debating whether navigation or photos matter more. This is the over-encumbered status effect. In RPGs like Skyrim or Dark Souls, when you exceed your carry weight, your movement speed drops to a crawl, and you can't dodge roll. The same physics apply in real life. Every extra pound creates joint stress over 20,000 steps. That backpack extending 10 inches behind you? It's a collision anchor in subway crowds and tight alleyways. And unlike Skyrim, you can't just find a random NPC companion to exploit as a walking storage container. Trust me, asking strangers on the subway to hold your stuff gets you weird looks. The speedrun loadout philosophy is different. Think of this like building a min-maxed character. You only equip items that actively boost your stats. Every piece of gear either reduces fatigue, extends your operational window, or handles critical functions. Everything else gets cut. We're building across 4 equipment slots. Footwear, your movement speed buff and stamina preservation. Carry system, your inventory management with 0 drag coefficient. Energy core, your mana regeneration for navigation and photos. And resource management, hydration that doesn't waste space plus expandable capacity for loot drops. Each slot has budget tier and mid-tier options because most of us spent money on plane tickets to reach these locations, not on $300 premium gear. Let's start with the foundation, literally. Your feet are the engine. Concrete sidewalks in Akihabara, cobblestones in Old Town Edinburgh, stairs at Shibuya Sky. It all translates to approximately 20,000 steps in an 8-hour run. That's 10 to 12 miles on surfaces that have 0 give. Here's the truth about footwear. This is the one equipment slot where going cheap will absolutely wreck your run. I learned this the hard way walking around New York City in $60 sneakers I thought were good enough. By hour 4, I had blisters. By hour 6, I had blisters on my blisters. It was like walking with a poison Pokemon. Every step made it worse, the damage kept stacking, and there was no Pokemon Center in sight to fix it. My shoes broke down like cheap starter gear, and I couldn't keep pace with my group. I ended up having to pay for rides between locations just to stay in the party. That transportation tax? That was supposed to be my exclusive merch fund. The whole point was eating my way through NYC. Real ramen, proper bagels, the pizza everyone talks about. My food budget became taxi fare, and the only thing I ate was the cost of my mistakes. Cheap shoes cost you twice, once when you buy them, again when they fail. But you don't need $200 shoes either. You need shoes with either supercritical foams or mechanical cushioning that maintain their protective properties for the full duration. Here are your tiers. If you're genuinely budget constrained or just testing whether location speed runs are your thing, the Duramo Speed is your minimum viable shoe at $90. These weigh about 9 ounces per shoe and use light strike foam, the same performance stuff found in their racing shoes that cost $140 plus. It's lighter and more resilient than the garbage EVA in generic $60 sneakers. Think of it as common tier gear that punches above its weight class. What you're giving up, no rocker geometry so your calves work harder. Less cushioning than premium options, you'll feel it by hour 7. And the outsole rubber is thinner, so it'll wear faster if you do multiple runs. Real talk. This is the I spent all my money on plane tickets option. It'll get you through the run without destroying your feet, but you'll understand why people upgrade once you try a value tier shoe. This is where the real performance jump happens. The extra $55 over the Duramo isn't just slightly better, it's a different experience. The Clifton's secret weapon is the Meta Rocker. The sole curves like a wheel. This mechanically assists your walking motion, reducing the work your calf muscles do over thousands of steps. Think of it as a passive stamina regen buff that's always active. The 32 millimeters of foam absorbs the shock that concrete would otherwise send straight into your knees. For context, that's nearly double the cushioning of the Duramo Speed. When you're doing full-day location runs, Ghibli Museum, Harajuku, Shibuya, back to Shinjuku, that extra 14 millimeters of foam between you and the pavement makes a measurable difference after 8 to 10 hours. This is the value sweet spot. If you can swing the 145, this is the single best value to performance ratio in the entire loadout. It's the shoe I'd pick if I could only recommend one option. Trade-off: the outsole exposes some foam to save weight. On super rough surfaces, this can wear faster than full rubber. But for city streets and indoor locations, the weight savings are worth it. Same price as the Clifton, but optimized for different needs. If you have specific issues or prioritize durability over rocker geometry, this is your pick. The Ghost has a firmer, more stable platform. That 12mm drop significantly unloads your Achilles tendon. If you've ever had tight calves or that sharp pain in the back of your ankle after a long day, this higher drop acts like a heel over time buff for that specific weakness. Full rubber outsole means it lasts longer. The Ghost is rated for 500 plus miles before cushioning degrades, while the Clifton typically hits 350 to 400. That 100-mile difference adds up. It's potentially one extra trip before you need to replace them. Who should choose this over the Clifton? You've had calf or Achilles issues before. You're doing multiple consecutive location runs and need durability. You prefer a more traditional, stable feel over the rocker sensation. One critical note: some routes involve long queue phases or museum visits where you're standing still for 30 plus minutes. The Clifton and Ghost are walking shoes. If you know your route includes a lot of standing, think theme parks, popular photo spots with lines, museum exhibits, consider the Bondi SR. It's heavier but has 43 millimeters of cushioning, basically a mattress under your feet. This is overkill for pure walking, but if your speed run includes the waiting in lobby phase, it's worth considering. Pro tip, if you're doing multiple location runs on consecutive days, own 2 pairs of different shoes and alternate daily. Foam needs 24 to 48 hours to fully decompress after a 20K step load. It's like letting your gear repair between dungeon runs. Rotating extends the life of both pairs and varies the stress pattern on your feet. Optimal rotation, Clifton 9 on day 1, Ghost 16 on day 2, repeat. The different geometries prevent repetitive stress injuries, and the foam recovery time is why 2 pairs can outlast buying 1 pair twice. All these links are in the description. The $90 tier is where you start. The $145 tier is where the value to performance curve peaks. A 25-liter backpack for an 8-hour run is like equipping heavy armor when you need light armor. It protects you from scenarios that won't happen while slowing you down for scenarios that will. The physics problem. A backpack extends your body 10 inches backward. In a crowded Shibuya crossing or a narrow side street in Prague, you're constantly doing collision checks. Can I fit through this gap? Did I just hit someone? Every subway turnstile, every shop doorway, every time you turn around to check a sign, you're managing that extra volume. The solution is a sling bag in the 3 to 6 liter range. It sits against your body when walking, swings to your chest in 1 second for access, and most importantly, it stays within your natural shoulder width. Zero drag coefficient. This bag was purpose-built for carrying a Steam Deck or Nintendo Switch, which means it has dedicated padding for electronics. If you're using your Switch on trains between locations or want to protect your camera, this structure is perfect. The W shape creates a padded channel for your main device and buffer zones for accessories like your power bank and cables. This prevents the joystick crush problem where pressure on analog sticks causes drift. The rectangular geometry is volume efficient. Despite being labeled 3.5 liters, it holds more usable items than a 6-liter blob-shaped bag because it's optimized for rectangular objects. Phones, power banks, guidebooks, snack bars. Capacity example, a Switch with slim case, 10,000 mAh power bank, vapor water bottle, we'll get to that. A packable rain jacket, snacks, and a small camera all fit with room to spare. Total loadout weight around 4 pounds. Light enough to forget you're wearing it after the first hour. The Venture has a self-compressing gusset. When it's empty or lightly loaded, it flattens against your body like a thick wallet. As you add items, it expands. This dynamic geometry means you're not carrying empty volume at the start of the day. The material has a softer hand than technical fabrics. It won't snag delicate clothing. If your location run transitions from street photography to a themed cafe to a nice dinner, this bag code switches better than overtly tactical gear. Critical note, the Venture struggles with a Steam Deck in a protective case. If you're carrying a handheld console, the Tomtoc is functionally superior despite costing less. The Bellroy wins if you're carrying a camera, wallet, snacks, and packable layers, but no bulky electronics. This is the Smurf Carry, endgame performance disguised as newbie gear. At $20, it's basically disposable, but the banana shape wraps around your body and the lack of internal structure creates a black hole effect. It swallows more than it should. You can fit a Steam Deck, water bottle, and phone in here, which is absurd for $20. The trade-off? Zero impact protection. If you stumble or bump into something, 100% of that shock transfers to your gear. If you use this, wrap your electronics in a hoodie or beanie first as improvised padding. However you organize your bag, use this protocol. Zone 1. Body side, high value, low frequency. Passport, backup credit card, return transit tickets. This pocket stays pressed against your chest, pickpocket proof. Zone 2, main compartment. Your primary payload, water bottle, packable jacket, power bank. Zone 3, Front access pocket, high frequency items you grab while moving. Phone cable, hand sanitizer, lip balm, snacks. This zoning eliminates menu time. You can grab items without looking, keeping your eyes on navigation or the group you're with. In 2026, a dead phone is a mission failure. Google Maps for navigation, Google Translate for menus, your camera for photos, mobile payment systems, transit apps, everything runs through your phone. For an 8-hour location run, you're draining your battery at 2 to 3x normal usage. This is the sweet spot. 10,000 milliamp hours handles a full day without being a brick. The 45-watt output is critical if you're carrying a gaming handheld. It can charge a Steam Deck or Nintendo Switch at full speed, meaning you can play on the train without draining the battery faster than it charges. Real-world math. An iPhone 15 Pro has a 3,274 milliamp hour battery. This bank gives you about 2.5 full charges. If you start the day at 100%, hit 20% by lunch at hour 4, top up to 100% while eating, then coast to hour 8 with juice to spare. 7 ounces is light enough that it doesn't create pendulum swing in your sling bag. The Nitecore is the ultralight king. If you're weight obsessed or doing multi-day location runs and want to minimize cumulative fatigue, this is worth the extra $25. The trade-off, the standard version outputs 20 watts, which won't fast charge a Steam Deck. If you need 45 watts, verify you're buying the high output variant. Don't overlook this. Use a 1-foot USB-C cable with a 90-degree L-shaped connector. The short length reduces tangling and the L shape reduces strain on your device's charging port when it's resting in your bag or pocket while charging. You can grab a quality Anker cable for about $12. That small detail prevents the nightmare scenario of a broken charging port mid-trip. Water is the heaviest item in any loadout. 1 liter equals 2.2 pounds. Carrying a rigid insulated bottle like a hydro flask is a rookie mistake for an 8-hour speed run. When it's full, it's heavy. When it's empty, it's still consuming the same volume in your bag. Dead space. The Vapor Anti-Bottle solves the collapsible bottle problem. It stands upright when full and rolls into a bundle the size of a marker when empty. As you drink throughout the day, you reclaim that volume in your bag for other items. Dynamic inventory expansion. The integrated carabiner clips to the outside of your sling bag. This separates wet inventory from dry/electronics inventory. Critical safety protocol, and gives instant access without unzipping anything. Refill locations, drinking fountains, convenience stores, cafes between locations. The $15 bottle pays for itself after preventing just 3 overpriced bottles at $4 each. Here's the scenario. You're at location 7 of your run. You walk past a shop with limited edition merch you didn't know existed, and suddenly you're buying a poster, a figure, and a shirt. Your 3.5 liter sling can't hold that. Because let's be honest, you're going to get distracted by side quests. That random anime shop wasn't on your route, but that exclusive merch is calling your name. The Nano Bag is made from 0.05 millimeter thick diamond ripstop. It weighs less than an ounce but holds 66 pounds. It packs down to golf ball size and lives dormant in your sling's smallest pocket until the loot phase activates. The long strap is designed for crossbody carry, keeping your hands free even when hauling acquisitions. This is the difference between I can't buy this because I can't carry it and mission accomplished, bringing this home. This is your I spent all my money on plane tickets build. Everything works, nothing is premium. You'll complete the run successfully, but you'll feel the difference between this and the value build by hour 6. Real talk. If this is your budget, spend it here. This loadout is infinitely better than a $65 backpack with $60 shoes and no power bank. This is the sweet spot. The extra $55 over the budget build goes entirely into footwear, which is where it matters most. The rocker geometry and cushioning make this feel like a completely different experience. This is the recommended complete build, balanced performance without breaking the bank. It handles any 8-hour speed run from Tokyo to Edinburgh to Hollywood without compromise. The upgrades here focus on longevity and versatility. The Brooks last 500 plus miles versus the Clifton's 400. The Bellroy transitions better between street exploration and upscale locations. The Nitecore shaves weight for multi-day trips. This is the build for serious location runners who do multiple trips per year, or if you want gear that looks good enough for both exploration and nice dinners without switching bags. Think of this like skill trees in an RPG. You don't need to max out every stat immediately. Start with the value build at 312. If you find yourself doing runs monthly, upgrade to the optimized build piece by piece. Maybe swap the Tomtoc for the Bellroy next, then upgrade the power bank 6 months later. The budget build exists for people genuinely testing the waters or who spent everything on flights. But if you can afford the extra $55 for the Clifton 9, that's the single highest value upgrade in the entire system. If you're doing multiple consecutive days of location runs, consider owning 2 pairs of shoes and alternating day 1 Clifton 9 with rocker geometry for fresh legs. Day 2, go 16 with higher drop for calf recovery. Day 3, Clifton 9, repeat. Alternating shoes extends their lifespan significantly and varies the stress on your feet. Same concept applies to bags. If you own both the Tomtoc and Bellroy, use the Tomtoc for heavy electronics days and the Bellroy for lighter, photo-focused days. So that's your complete 8-hour location speedrun loadout. From the movement speed buff under your feet to the expandable inventory in your pocket. Budget build at $257, value build at $312, optimized build at $485. Every item earned its equipment slot. If you want more gear optimization like this, seasonal variants, weekend trip builds, theme park setups, subscribe. I'm building a whole library of loadouts for every type of location run. Drop a comment with the fandom location you're planning to speedrun next. Tokyo for your name, London for Harry Potter, LA for Marvel sites, let me know. And if this saved you from the over-encumbered nightmare, hit that like button so other location runners can find this. All the product links and a comparison chart are in the description box below. Now you've got the route and the gear. Time to execute the run.